Is it price gouging? I've talked to a couple service stations. They said, because you'll pay it. That's why we charge it. You'll pay it.
And statements like that, along with email inquiries from Flagler County residents about the high cost of gasoline, have Flagler County Commissioner Greg Hansen asking for an explanation.
Nobody can tell me why we are 20 to 30 cents more expensive. Nobody can explain that to me. So I would like our board to send a letter to either Ag or Attorney General, depending on who's the right target, but ask them to come down and explain why we are the most expensive gas, and it's by 30 cents a gallon, which you fill up 20 gallons, that's a lot of money.
Commissioner Andy Dance says he received similar emails and says a county staffer pointed to the gas tax being potentially behind higher prices in Flagler, though Hansen's not so sure.
Jorge wrote back to me about at least what the gas tax is, and it doesn't make sense, right? Flagler is 52.7 cents, St. John's 51.7, Volusia's 57.7.
I've looked at the taxes, and it's not the taxes. We are some of the lowest taxes in the state. So, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Commissioners came to a consensus to send a letter to the Agriculture Commissioner for an explanation. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
Flagler County deputies arrest a Palm Coast man in a child molestation case. 32-year-old Peter Strickland was handcuffed on charges of soliciting sex acts from girls as young as 13 years old. Sheriff Rick Staley says the victims were girls who lived in a group home in Palm Coast.
Detectives received information about a possible human trafficking case, and upon investigation arrested a Palm Coast Utilities employee who had been buying children gifts so that he could have sex with them. And if that wasn't worse enough, then he was recording many of his crimes. Deputies arrested him and served a search warrant on his house, and with the help of the Volusia County Forensics K-9, helped sniff out electronics evidence. This pervert, disgusting individual is now in the Green Roof Inn where he belongs.
Deputies say Strickland admitted to having sexual relations with several girls ranging in age from 13 to 17 on more than a dozen occasions over the past 2 years. Strickland is being held on a $100,000 bond, and deputies say additional charges are pending. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Candidates vying for the Flagler School Board District 2 seat make their pitch for your vote during a forum hosted by WNZF and the Palm Coast Observer. Lance Ulrich says his business and experience working with the Department of Defense qualifies him for the board.
I'm going to ask you to not take a chance on youthful exuberance, and I'm going to ask you to not take a chance on catchphrases and buzzwords. And I'm going to ask you to not take a chance on the education of our children. I'm going to ask you to take a stance for leadership, take a stance for management experience. I'm going to ask you to take a stance with our governor, who I support. And I'm going to ask you to stand with parents and the right to be involved in the education of their children.
Will Furry says as a board member, he'll focus on the basics.
My platform is focused primarily on student protection, safety, parents' rights, curriculum transparency, and an enriched classroom environment. We're going to focus on math, reading, science, American history, civics. We're going to return our schools to an A grade, and we're going to get our reading scores back up.
Courtney Vandebunty says she will be an unyielding advocate for all students.
My intentions as a school board member are to use my experience of 10 years teaching here in Flagler schools, all of those years being a highly effective teacher, and one of those years being awarded Teacher of the Year. I will respectfully listen and consider all perspectives, whether I align with them or not, because as a school board member, I will work for the students and their families, as well as teachers and staff, to drive Flagler closer to becoming Florida's premier learning organization.
The entire candidate forum, along with other past forums, can be streamed on the Flagler radio app. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke. It was a time of reflection and celebration after a decades-long employee retires from Flagler County.
At the recent retirement of equipment operator 4, Jeff Nobles was recognized for his years of service to Flagler County by Ryan Pravat, Flagler County's road and bridge manager for the county's Public Works Department.
Jeff started his career with Road and Bridge back in May of 1986. Since that time, he's been involved in countless capital improvement projects and natural disasters, always going above and beyond. Just an example of some of the projects that he was involved in that were instrumental in building and improving the infrastructure of Flagler County are the numerous and countless widening and paving projects of the dirt roads throughout the county.
Pravat says Noble will be missed by every county employee. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
We may not be number 1 or number 2, but 3 is still a big number.
Flagler County is number 3 in tourism in North Florida. Flagler County Tourism's Amy Lukasik says that we align with the Northeast region of the state with Baker, Clay, Duval, Nassau, and St. Johns counties.
Nassau County is number 1 in the Northeast region as far as what percentage of tourism jobs in the whole entire county. So 22% of their workforce is tourism related. And in second place was St. Johns County at 20%. Third place was us, 18%.
Lukasik said the numbers reflect the county's workforce. You can listen to the Business Report on Saturday mornings at 10 on WNZF or listen anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, Oceanside Johnny talks about what else? The 4th of July. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.